Hey everybody, Jerry Reiner here. I was going to try a little something different because eventually I'm going to run out of footage and I want to keep making content, so figure I'd try something new. I'm going to talk you through one of my matches and go a little inside baseball, let you know what was going through my mind, things that happened and whatnot. Kind of inspired by Stevie Richards' channel, where he goes in depth with things. So I thought I'd try my hand at it. The first match we're going to watch is from Southeastern Pro Wrestling. It was run at the time by the Armstrongs, namely Steve Armstrong. He was always real good about using me. I appreciate that. It was called the Armstrong Family Reunion. It happened at the fairgrounds in Pensacola, Florida on Friday, November 17th, 2000. I was the ripe young age of 26 years old. That was a long, long time ago. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. There you see Steve Savage on the microphone. Steve was a big part of getting me broke into the business. Him and Chris Cody were the two guys who literally broke me into the business. He had an incredible voice for ring announcing and commentary. I kind of patterned my commentary style after him. If you don't know, I would commentate my own matches under my my real name, my government name, and talk about myself in the third person as if I wasn't me. Just to add a little something to the matches, so it's not just, you know, a ringside filmed fan cam type deal. There he is, the Lightning Kid, Jerry Reiner. Jerry Reiner, actually, Steve Savage gave me that name. He said, what do you want to call yourself? And I was like, I don't know. And he said, well, what do you think about Reiner, like Rob Reiner? And that's all it took. And for 20 years, I was Jerry Reiner. People still call me Jerry Reiner to this day. Most of my friends that I've had throughout my life I met in the wrestling business, so to them, I'm Jerry Reiner. Danny Rowland was one of my favorite opponents. There's, you know, everybody has a handful of guys that they click with. Danny was one of those guys for me. I guess I'll go ahead and name them all. The main guys that I really clicked with in the ring that I worked the most were Dwayne McLeod in the beginning, the Highlander, Danny Rowland, later on Justin Cruz, Nick Vortex, and Mike Jacobs. Mike Jacobs was actually trained by Danny Rowland. We always had really good chemistry. Let's see, we got a lock up here. I don't know, you just gel with some guys and you don't with some guys. Everybody has, you know, the guys that they gel with. Pulling me up on the kip up there and immediately pulling my hair. That was a nice little spot. One of the things that really bugs me about this match that I can't stand is that flashing light on the wall at the fairgrounds in the building. Drove me nuts seeing the match back that they left that on. There's absolutely no reason for that to be going. Uh-oh, look out. Big comeback. Shine the babyface. Wrestling psychology, folks. You always shine the babyface in the beginning of the match. I would say this was probably in my physical prime. Oh, here we go. Whoop. Little stumble there. High risk offense. I feel like I'm going to revert to commentating, and I don't need to do that. This is an interesting spot. This was Danny's deal. He sets me up on the turnbuckle on the apron. Not a lot of apron spots back then. Looks like I was going for a tornado DDT, and he clotheslines me over the top rope into the ring, which is the opposite of what you usually see. I kind of like that. Execution could have been a little better. I always like to get up on all fours to, you know, let the heel give you the old field goal kick. I was really good at feeding guys. I would feed to the ropes, and even without talking to them ahead of time, they would know, oh, I'm supposed to choke him on the ropes. I would usually feed to a corner, things like that. Watch this punch. Danny could throw a good punch. Danny was trained by Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express, who also taught me most of what I consider to be correct as far as in-ring. Here's a funny little thing Danny would do. He would make me say yes to the referee, like the referee's asking me if I quit. He would move my head up and down like I was saying yes. That was always funny, like a little inside thing just for us. But yeah, oh, this was the Armstrong family reunion. I remember Ekmo Fatu, Eddie Fatu was on this card. Rest in peace. A lot of great talent. All the Armstrongs were on it. Good crowd. Really, really enjoyable times back then. But yeah, this is one of the better matches, I think, on my channel of mine. Look at this standing suplex. Danny was so good. Danny got a little bigger in his later days. This is probably prime Danny Rowland right here. But even as he got, like, his body size grew, he was still so smooth and could just work his ass off. But we're into the heat now. So the heel's in control. This was actually a flub. Danny called a reverse neck breaker. What he wanted was to shoot me off and just duck his head and for me to give him a reverse neck breaker. But in my mind, and it happens sometimes, I took it literally like reverse, because that's the first thing he said was reverse. So I reversed him, but good workers can, you know, figure stuff like that out, and we did. You know, it didn't look too bad. That's the difference between a botch and, you know, just coming up with something on the fly. Here's another one. That wasn't supposed to happen that way, but, you know, we got there in the end. It's funny, I used to commentate, much as I'm doing right now, using a camcorder for the audio, and then I would just splice the audio in. In that particular instance a second ago, you could hear my phone ring in my apartment while I was commentating, so I just hung up on somebody quickly and kept going and unplugged my phone. That was a spot I like to use. Kick 'em up, kick 'em down, face buster. Little X-Pac homage. He was 3/4 across the ring. I don't know what I was thinking here, but I got there. It was close. And I think we're fixing to go home here pretty soon. That went by fast. Maybe I'll do 2 and string them together, see what happens when I edit this together. Going into the finish here, this was all Danny. A little float over, duck the clothesline, lightning strike, super kick. That was my finish at the time, and that'll do it. But hey, thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative, and hopefully I'll do more. Alright, we're going to do another match with me and Danny Rowland. This one we're going to fast forward about 6-7 years, somewhere around 2006 I believe. Bruton, Alabama, Dirty South Pro Wrestling. It's going to be a lumberjack strap match, so that's going to be interesting. Let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see, we're both a little older. I'm not rocking the tassels anymore. Now Mr. Electricity instead of the Lightning Kid. The Lightning Kid was also given to me by Chris Cody and Steve Savage. At the time, I did not know Sean Waltman was using that name, and by the time I figured it out, it was too late. Then I changed it to Mr. Electricity, and of course, Mr. Electricity also used before. Didn't know that. Not going to be jumping right into the action like we used to. A little more long in the tooth here. Got a lot of old faces around ringside. Nick Bondage, rest in peace. He was a great worker. Little wrestling opening up here. A little face-off. And you can see Danny's gained a little weight, but you'll see here he's still smooth as silk. And of course all the wrestlers around ringside have leather straps. I saw Aaron Blaze out there. The tag team combination of Double Trouble also at ringside. And some other faces that I do not remember because it's been probably almost 20 years. Something like that. The old memory goes after a while, let me tell you. Shinobu, another guy at ringside. There's a quick cover. That Bruton Armory was a pretty good building. I booked there for Dirty South for about 9 months. Had a good time. Of course, doing some gaga here. When you're the main event, you got to put some time in, even though this match is less than 10 minutes. I never had the best cardio, so I never went real long in my matches. I wasn't an athlete. I was a good worker, but you put me on a baseball diamond or a football field or a basketball court, I just look like a fish out of water. I just took to pro wrestling for whatever reason. I love the way I can just grab this 265-pound man by the back of the head and just shoot him through the ropes like Superman. Doing a spot here where the heels decide they don't want to strap Danny Rowland because they're friends of his. And of course the baby faces are complaining. I'm complaining to the official. They're supposed to strap him. We call this the gaga. Stuff you can do where you're not taking bumps and save your body. Tying up again here. Little arm drag. Just a filler before we go to the next spot where I'm going to go to throw him to the heel side and change my mind, turn around and throw him to the babyface side. Gets a good little pop. Both of us demonstrating on the official our side of the story there as he's claiming the hair pull. A lot of stuff you can do with all those guys on the outside to add to the match. Here we go. Nope, not that side, this side. Again, me just grabbing him with one hand and chucking him. But somehow it still works to me. Snatching that headlock. And you don't have to do as much when you got all those guys at ringside to take the attention of the fans. They're having their little words with each other, things like that. Just adds another element. Pretty sure this was the main event. I believe Danny was actually booking this show. And then afterwards, I started taking over. Big knee lift there. And boom, right away, the heels got the advantage and we're going right into the heat. Why waste time? Up, distracting the referee so the heels can choke me from the outside. Fans eating it up. Me and Danny were so good together. Straight to a hold. Calling our next spot there. Let's see what we got going on here. A couple of elbows cut me off with the knee maybe. That was one of my favorite. Nope, he just went right to the eyes and chucked me to the heels. Taking a good strapping. Got the feet on the ropes there. Referee catches it. Nice little heat spot. There's that field goal kick again. Love it. Gotta sell, man. Nobody sells anymore. Just a straight clothesline. That's all you need. What a dastardly heel he was. I like this match. I mean, we don't do a whole hell of a lot, but we really didn't need to. More easy heat. You don't give them more than they need. You know what I mean? You got to save your body. And that was a little hope spot there. Just a one gut shot, and he rakes the eyes, cuts me off. Oop, double reverse there. That might have been a little miscommunication, but we got there again. There's kick 'em up, kick 'em down, facebuster again. One of my tried and true favorites. Start the babyface comeback. Get the fans into it. Drop kick to the knee. Looks like the Shining Wizard's coming. My Great Muta homage. It's funny, I was in 2007, I was on the PWI 500 the only time I ever was in it. And the little blurb for me, I was number 419. I couldn't be 420, really. Could have made a whole gimmick out of that, but the little blurb said that the Shining Wizard was my finish, which it wasn't at the time. Shock Therapy, a straight jacket neck breaker was, but I changed it to my finish to match the magazine article. Let's see what we got going on here. Danny pulls his pants up. Duck of the clothesline. Oh, double noggin knocker. Danny spills to the floor. And if I'm not mistaken, this is when something's supposed to happen. The heels are supposed to come in and do some stuff. Having a hard time remembering. But I don't know if they just didn't get the memo yet or we hadn't got there yet. That seemed kind of unnecessary, though. I think we're trying to figure it out on the fly here. I just throw a super kick in there. Razzle dazzle, that's what it was. I had to say razzle dazzle. That was the signal for the heels to come in and attack me. You see me looking over my shoulder. You coming in, guys? Making eye contact with Nick Bondage there. Throwing up, here he is. Duck the Cliz Liz, super kick. Here comes Shinobu, catch the foot, Enziguri. All hell breaks loose on the outside. Danny takes back over, and I believe we're going home. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you like this. Comment down below if you do. Be sure to like and subscribe. My original finish, the crucifix there. And another win for Jerry Reiner. Good old Danny putting me over. Thanks again, folks. Hope you liked it. See you next time.